World Athletics announced the 10-man shortlist for Male Athlete of the Year earlier on this Thursday, one day after revealing the nominees for the female equivalent. Track and Field's governing body confirmed that the shortlisted athletes reflect some of the standout performances achieved at the World Athletics Championships in Oregon, the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Belgrade, one-day meeting circuits, and other events around the world. The winners will be announced at the end of a three-way voting process involving the World Athletics Council, the World Athletics family, and the public. How is it broken down? Well, the vote from the World Athletics Council will count for 50% of the result. The vote from the World Athletics family and the public votes will count for 25% each, where the final result is concerned. Now, the voting process is set to end on Monday, October 31. Joining us in studio to assess the chances of the nominees is our in-house track and field analyst, Leighton Levy. He would make every shortlist for Sports Journalist of the Year 2022. Leighton, welcome.
It's good to be here, George.
There you go, there you go. All right, let's start with the women, because that's where the better, the more keener contest is. I really couldn't give two hoots who wins the men's competition. So, you know, let me start it this way. I've heard people talking about the list. I even saw an article in the Observer today, which I think, based on the way the article was written, I'm suspecting it's our good friend Andre Lowe who may have penned it, but curiously there was no byline to it. Anyway, and like the article mirrors what I've heard many people say, to say this. It's going to be tough for the Jamaicans, even Shelley and Fraser-Price, because Sidney McLaughlin has 2 world record performances. Amosan has a world record performance at the World Championships. And I said to myself, but hold on, something is wrong with my brain, because I'm interpreting the World Athletics Award going to a body of work over the course of the track and field year. It's not the Performance of the Year award. It's the Athlete of the Year award. And I'm very happy that World Athletics, in its narration, said we are looking at the person with the best combination of performances over World Championships, World Indoors, this and that and that and that. So I feel even stronger in my conviction that Shelley and Fraser-Price has an outstanding chance and a better chance than many would give her. I've said a lot lately. You're the expert. You should be doing all the talking. Talk to us.
Yes. I think she's a contender, but she will not win.
All right.
And here is why. Shelley has an incredible body of work. What she's done this year has never been done before. 7 times under 10.70 seconds, breaking the record that was set by Lane Thompson here last year. She won a 5th world title, never been done before by a running athlete in the sport. Outstanding performances. But when you look across the board, all the entire slate of 10 women who have been nominated, there are some contenders there who have had extraordinary seasons as well. But world records make a big difference, in my mind, certainly, based on the history and the trend of what we've seen for the female athlete of the year, male athlete of the year in general. World records are a difference maker, and there are 2 women in that field who have established world records this year. One has broken the world record twice that she already owned. I think when you look at what Sidney McLaughlin has done unbeaten, she's a world champion, she's the world record holder, and she didn't compete in the Diamond League, but she has the body of work that she's done this year is, in my estimation, and I think it will be in the estimation of the judges, the people who carry the majority of that 50% vote that you mentioned earlier, will give her the edge over Toby Amusan, with Shelley probably finishing 3rd in the voting. When you look at the social media votes so far, Toby Amusan, in fact, Africans in general are doing quite well. Toby Amusan and Faith Kipyegon, the 800-meter runner, are doing exceptionally well in the votes. They're I think Shelley is currently 5th in the voting from the fans itself. So Andre, whoever wrote that story in the Observer, is not far from what we think will happen.
But Leighton, does being the fastest woman for the year have anything to do with it as well? Because whenever we talk about Shelley, we talk about that. We also think about the background of her, having a child, coming back, doing this fastest woman right now. Her personality, where votes are concerned, because, people love Shelley.
Yeah, look, all of those things, the coming back from the childbirth is an older story now. It's not as significant as it was, say, 2 years ago or last year. So I don't think that would be a factor. her body of work is outstanding. Don't get me wrong. And I think in any other year, she probably would have been a favorite to win the title. But the thing is this: what Shelley has done and what Elaine did the year before are hemmed in significantly by the standard of the women's 100-meter world record. That 10:49 is an albatross around the neck of many modern sprinters because they will never break that record. I've said it publicly that I don't think that record will be broken in any time in the near future because it was not a legitimate record because it was wind-aided. Right? So when you look at the fact that they are judged against that world record when all the other athletes are judged against records that are more attainable. So that's the albatross around Shelley and Fraser-Price's neck.
But here's the thing. All right, let's get into it then later. So I hear you from the expert's perspective, and clearly you are not wrong, because when you look at the history of what sprinters from this part of the world have done, and then you see them on a short list for female athlete of the year against other athletes, and you say, well, yeah, or girl will win. And the record of Caribbean athletes winning is not impressive. Americans dominate the list, as you know.
Yeah,
here's the thing.
Had it not been for Usain Bolt, the Caribbean probably wouldn't have had it.
Wouldn't have had a winner. Here's the thing, though. Let's do one by one. You made a brilliant argument just now about the hemming in of the world record. Through no fault of their own, Shelley and Fraser-Price and every woman who runs the 100 meters, well, apart from what Elaine did last year and what Shelley did this year, nobody thought that any woman could seriously land a glove on the world record. We think it's possible now by virtue of what Elaine did and what Shelley has been doing this year. That's one. So I'm sure you would tell me that the 400 meters hurdles world record has been broken multiple times in the time that the 100 meters record has stood. That proves that the women in the 100 are not running against a real mark. Set that aside. So I can understand Sydney's double world record performance, which you said extraordinary. You are very correct. And that may be underplaying it because 2 world records in one season, oh man, that's magical.
And 50.6. There are women who are running the flat 4 who don't run the 50.6.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
You know.
But when you look at, you have to factor in the excellence of the final time, the consistency displayed by the athlete. How many times did that athlete run and have the world talking about the performance? I would suggest to you that apart from those 2 world records and the other fast time you mentioned, most of the times Sydney McLaughlin's performance is not picked up on the sporting radar, and that's no fault of her own because the 400 meters hurdles is not a glamour event. So what I'm saying is that Shelley and company have their own handicap with the falls 100 meters world record, and Sydney McLaughlin has her own handicap, an event that is not a glamour event. Toby Amusan now, 1 world record, Leighton. Well, 2 because but we know what happened. The wind aided the Friday. But let me finish it now. Toby Amusan 1 time. Before the World Championships, Leighton, where was Toby Amusan dropping jaws with her performances on the track? For people to be saying, no. Have you seen this? We're the subject of the reaction meted out to what Fraser-Price did, meet after meet, sub-10.7s, which in the history of planet Earth has never happened before. Of course, we've seen a record in the 100 meters hurdles already. It's nothing new.
Yeah, but similar.
So to talk to me now.
Yeah.
And just to add, the silver when we talk about body of work, you can't
200 meters.
Yeah, you can't take away
but
that.
Here's the thing. Okay, so Shelley has 100 meter gold, 200 meter silver, 6 times under 10.7. Okay,
Or 7.
7 times under 10.7.
Yes.
And then the 4
Fantastic.
by 100 relay.
Toby has a Commonwealth title. She's an African champion. She's a world champion. She's a Diamond League champion. Okay, so you see how that measures up?
No, hold on.
That's
hold
4
on.
titles.
Yeah, but
there.
hold on. I know you're not a disingenuous fellow. So the world title, yes. The African is parochial.
No, because it's similar.
Shelley can't run in the African
No, but it's similar to the European championship.
No, but hold on. But Shelley, none of what Shelley achieved was parochial. That's the point I'm making. Right. So there's no regional title.
But there were regular
or area
races.
title. Yeah, hold on, man. I know. But clean it up now. You said, and see, this is the danger with interrogating these things, because you have to try to downplay an outstanding performance to elevate one. And I hate saying anything bad about Amusan, but Leighton, come on now. The African title put an asterisk beside that because only Africans can run for that. The Commonwealth title, the big guns didn't go to the Commonwealth Games, although she went there as a big gun. Yeah, she was the big gun going there.
Brittany Anderson was there, and some of the best. The only people who weren't there is the Americans.
Yeah, but hold on, no? Kamacha Quinn was there? No. Right. And the Americans weren't there. Yeah, but Leighton, so hold on. So I'm saying Amusan's magnum opus was one race, Leighton. Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce, every time she went on, well, most of the time she went on the track in the year, she did something that was almost unprecedented. Look, we can't take away 10:54 because 10:54 is 10:54. That's Elaine's high water mark. Do you realize what Shelly's series of performances would have meant if 10:54 didn't exist?
Yeah, what I'm saying to you.
So how can that be a weak contender, Leighton?
No. Shelly's body of work this year has been extraordinary, right? Never been done before. That in itself is historical. She's the oldest person to ever win a 100-meter world title. Right. She's the first woman first running athlete, male or female, to win a world title in a running event. Never been done before.
Right now.
Right? But as I said to you before, all of those things are remarkable if she was not up against two women who set the world records. And that's the unfortunate thing about it. Because the world records, in many instances, in the mind of the judges, the people whose votes count, matter more.
Mariah, here's the thing then. As I was hinting at earlier, perhaps it is that we should be talking about performance of the year.
Yeah, changing the...
performance of the year. But in terms of World Athlete of the Year, where I'm... Leighton, if it is, Mariah, we were weighting each performance from each of these athletes over the course of the year and putting a weight to it, say a number between 1 and 10, a figure between 1 and 10, and you may add a factor for something else.
Yeah.
If you were weighting them like that, there's no doubt in my mind Fraser-Pryce would have finished top of the pile. Fraser-Pryce didn't give us 10-9, 11-0-1.
And it's so many different...
That's the point I'm making.
Even the one race she lost is 10-7-4.
There you go.
But what I'm saying is, Judge, all of those performances, championship.
You know what's frustrating me? Because you were correct about your reasoning about how the award will be given. That's what's frustrating me more than anything else.
It's frustrating to the people the pundits who follow the sport as well.
Yes.
Right.
But historically, when you look at the trend of how these awards are selected,
my friend.
It is the people who set the world records. It's the same reason why Eliud Kipchoge and, of course, Mondo Duplantis are favorites to win the men's title.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're among the two men who have set world records this year. Mondo, 2 records indoors and the world record outdoors. Kipchoge, the marathon world record that was set just recently, he won the Tokyo Marathon as well as the German Marathon, I think it was. 2 other premier events.
Yeah, he won the German Marathon.
Yeah, so you're looking at a situation where the world records are going to be, historically, the world records are the deciders in these for these
Mariah, I leave Anderson Peters for you. Because,
Yeah, I wanted to also ask you, based on the type of year Anderson Peters had, how proud are you to see that, he's among the men nominated, and how disappointed are you that no other Caribbean athlete, no Caribbean men was nominated?
Well, let me answer the last part first. Historically, Caribbean men have never, with the exception of Usain Bolt, and I think that's probably 1 year, have never figured prominently in this award. So that's not a surprise. For Anderson Peters, the fact that he was nominated just tells you how good he was this year. 93.07, I think it was, farthest, longest run in the world this year. He won the world title and, of course, was surprised at the Commonwealth Games, finishing second. But when you look at the rest of the field, Holloway is the Diamond League champion. He's a world champion and world indoor champion. Noah Lyles is the world champion, the Diamond League champion. Of course, 19.3 puts him third. 19.31 puts him third fastest ever in history. Kipchoge, Duplantis, who lost once this year, set 3 world records this year.
Yeah.
It's a good performance, but it doesn't stand up well against the rest of the performances that would have seen.
Question for you: with all of the husbanding that has attended to Eliud Kipchoge's performances. I was reading an article recently about the guy who gives him his water. And the process of handing him that water bottle is scientific.
Yep.
The height that it is held, the angle that he positions himself, then he jumps on his bike, pedals to the next water stop and does it again and everything else. The shoes, don't forget the shoes. With all of that has gone into building up the legend of Eliud Kipchoge, would it be fair for him to be regarded as athlete of 2022?
Well, the shoes are right across the board. You could say the same thing about Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce.
But he donned the version after the prototype.
Yeah, but
So,
look, World Athletics set the standards, right? So therefore, they're running within the parameters set by the World Athletics. I mean, look, one of the things, and the big argument about the shoes is this. If you use that argument, you might as well say if Jesse Owens was alive today, what would he do with the technology available today? He used to run with 3-pound spikes with the huge long nails and run on dirt. These guys are running on surfaces now where give you back energy, and of course you're running with spikes.
Well, to be fairly, no, I'm not quarreling about the fact of the shoes per se, because as you say, the sprinters get help from the shoes as well, no problem. What I'm saying is that the shoes were made for him to break the records. That's the point I'm making. So it's not as if Nike, who's Shelly's shoe sponsor?
Nike.
Nike didn't sit in a lab and say, let's build a shoe for Shelly and Fraser Price to break the 100 meters world record. They just, based on technology that they were developing, made sprinters' shoes out of the same technology and said, okay, sprinters, go and see what you do. They sat and said, okay, how can we build a shoe for Eliud Kipchoge to successfully attack the record?
Yeah, that's
the difference.
Yeah, and it's custom-made shoes are custom-made shoes. A lot of athletes get their shoes custom-made by their shoe sponsors. So
I'm giving Leighton a hard time.
It's part of the argument.
I like it. It makes for good discussion.
Yeah, the thing about it is that, unfortunately, I mean, I would not, look, if you say at the end of October, World Athletics announced that Shelly and Fraser Price is the
You
world
would be
champion,
surprised.
I would not be surprised. But given what we've seen historically from the adjudication
Judges.
process, the world record holders have the advantage.
And then going with that now, my friends, so just declare for us, based on how they judge these awards and what you know about how they judge them, who will be the respective winners?
For me, Sidney McLaughlin, and on the mid side, is between Duplantis and Kipchoge.
Okay, give me another man to put in a top three. The top three would be who among the men? There's the list on the TV.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. You will probably have to go with Grant Holloway or Noah Lyles, given what we've seen from him.
So Lyles, Duplantis,
and Kipchoge.
Yeah.
Okay, and we needed another woman, right?
Yeah, top three for the women?
Yeah, it would be Shelly, Amos, and
Sydney.
Sydney. Okay.
Sydney got married recently, it seems. Levrone.
Yeah.
Sydney McLaughlin, Levrone. All right, there we go. Time for break. And when we come back, we continue.
Thanks, Leighton.
Thank you very much, Leighton. I had to harass you, my friend.
No, no problem. I enjoyed the harassment.
All right, here we go. We take a break. Back with more after these.